Listen, I know why you're here. Your current car is making sounds that shouldn't exist in nature. Or maybe you just got your license and your budget is, let's say, limited. Perhaps you're tired of car payments that cost more than your rent. Whatever brought you here, I've got you covered. But here's the thing, finding a reliable used car for cheap isn't about getting lucky. It's about knowing which cars age like fine wine and which ones age like milk left in the sun. And today, I'm going to share the 10 cars that'll give you the most bang for your buck in 2025. Now, before we dive in, let me tell you a story. Last year, my cousin Marcus called me at 2 in the morning. His transmission had just given up on life in the middle of nowhere. He'd bought what he thought was a deal on a used luxury car, spent every penny of his savings. And 6 months later, he was stranded with a repair bill that cost more than the car was worth. Don't be Marcus. The cars I'm about to show you, these are the anti-Marcus cars. Proven workhorses with cheap parts, simple engineering, and owners who actually smile when they talk about them. So buckle up, because we're about to save you thousands of dollars and countless headaches. Number 10. Honda Civic. Let's start with the most obvious choice, but obvious for a reason. The Honda Civic from around 2010 to 2016 is basically the Swiss Army knife of used cars. Picture this, it's a cold Monday morning. Your neighbor's car won't start. The guy down the street is scraping ice off his windshield while his engine struggles to turn over. But you turn the key in your Civic and it fires up instantly every single time. That's not luck, that's Honda engineering. These cars run forever, and I mean forever. There are Civics out there with over 300,000 miles still commuting daily. The secret? Honda built these things with simplicity in mind. No overcomplicated tech that breaks. No fancy systems that need expensive repairs, just solid, dependable transportation. You can find a good one for anywhere between $4,000 to $8,000, depending on mileage and condition. Parts are everywhere and cheap. Every mechanic in America knows how to fix them. And here's the best part. When you're ready to sell it, people will actually want to buy it. The 8th and 9th generation Civics are particularly sweet spots. Comfortable, fuel efficient, and they'll still look modern enough that you won't feel like you're driving a relic. Zier's number 9, Mazda 3. Now if you want something with a bit more soul than the Civic, let me introduce you to the Mazda 3. Mazda doesn't get enough credit. While everyone's obsessing over Toyota and Honda, Mazda quietly built one of the most fun-to-drive compact cars on the market. The models from 2010 to 2015 hit that perfect balance between reliability and personality. Here's what makes the Mazda 3 special. It actually makes you want to drive. That sounds silly, right? It's just a car. But trust me, when you take a corner and feel how responsive the steering is, when you accelerate and hear that engine note, you'll understand. This isn't just transportation, it's a car that makes your commute less boring. They're holding up incredibly well too. Mazda dealt with some rust issues in earlier models, but by 2010 they had sorted that out. The Skyactiv engines that came later are even better on gas and reliability. You're looking at about $5,000 to $9,000 for a solid example. Maybe a bit more if you find one with low miles and the Skyactiv engine. Insurance is reasonable, parts are affordable, and they're not complicated to maintain. Plus, let's be honest, they look way more expensive than they actually are. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you in a Mazda 3. Duo number 8, Toyota Corolla. I know what you're thinking. Another basic sedan, really? But hear me out, because the Corolla might just be the smartest purchase on this entire list. There's a reason your grandma's 1995 Corolla is still running, and her neighbor's 2003, and that delivery driver's 2011. Toyota engineered these cars with one mission: never break down. The 2009 to 2013 Corollas are particularly bulletproof. They came right before Toyota started adding all the modern tech, so they're simple and cheap to maintain. But they're new enough to have decent safety features and modern conveniences. Here's the real value proposition. You buy a Corolla for $6,000. You drive it for 5 years. You do nothing but oil changes and basic maintenance. You sell it for $4,000. You've basically rented a car for $40 a month. Try finding that deal anywhere else. Are they exciting? Absolutely not. Will your heart race when you start it up? Only if you have a pre-existing condition. But will it start every single time? Will it cost you almost nothing to run? You bet. And in 2025, when everyone else is stressed about inflation and crazy repair costs, you'll be cruising along without a care in the world. Sometimes boring is beautiful. Number 7. Ford Fusion. All right, let's talk about the underdog, the Ford Fusion from 2013 to 2016. I know, American cars have a reputation. But the Fusion is different. Ford really stepped up their game with this generation. They had to. The competition from Honda and Toyota was destroying them. The result: a car that's shockingly good and criminally undervalued in the used market. Because of Ford's reputation, these cars depreciate faster than the competition. That's bad for the original owner, but amazing for you. For $7,000 to $10,000, you can get a Fusion that would cost you 15 grand if it had a Honda badge. You're getting a smooth ride, a quiet cabin, and if you're lucky enough to find the 2.0 EcoBoost model, some genuinely fun performance. The best part, these cars are everywhere. Ford sold tons of them. That means parts are cheap and available. Mechanics know them inside and out. And if something does break, you're not paying Honda or Toyota premium prices to fix it. The 2.5-liter four-cylinder is your best bet for reliability. Dead simple engine, proven tech. The V6 is nice if you want more power, but it'll cost you at the pump. Avoid the early automatic transmissions if you can. Stick with 2014 and newer for peace of mind. Number 6. Hyundai Elantra. Let me tell you something that might shock you. Hyundai is now making cars that rival Honda and Toyota for reliability, and the Elantra from 2011 to 2016 proves it. Remember when Hyundai was the punchline? Those days are gone, dead, buried. They spent the last 15 years obsessing over quality, and it shows. The Elantra is so confident in its engineering that the original warranty was 10 years or 100,000 miles. That should tell you something. What you're getting is a spacious, comfortable, well-equipped car for thousands less than the competition. We're talking $5,000 to $8,000 for a solid example. And unlike older budget brands, the Elantra actually has features. Bluetooth, backup cameras in later models, heated seats, stuff that makes daily driving pleasant. The 1.8-liter engine is the sweet spot. Enough power for highway merging, great fuel economy, and simple enough that repairs won't bankrupt you. The later models with the 2.0-liter are nice too, just slightly thirstier. Here's the insider tip. Because these cars don't have the Toyota or Honda prestige, dealers and private sellers price them lower to move them. That means you can negotiate hard and walk away with an absolute steal. Lecture number 5. Subaru Impreza. Now we're getting into interesting territory. If you live anywhere that sees snow, ice, or rough weather, stop what you're doing and pay attention. The Subaru Impreza from 2012 to 2016 is your all-weather best friend. That standard all-wheel drive system isn't just a gimmick. It's genuinely life-changing if you deal with winter. I watched my friend Sarah drive her Impreza through a snowstorm that had SUVs sliding off the road. She just cruised past them like it was a sunny day in July. That confidence in bad weather? You can't put a price on it. Although apparently you can, and it's about $7,000 to $11,000. The Boxer engine layout gives you a lower center of gravity, which means better handling. The symmetrical all-wheel drive system is one of the best in the business. And Subaru owners are weirdly loyal. These cars have a cult following for a reason. Now, full transparency. Older Subarus had head gasket issues, but by the 2012 model year, they'd mostly solved that problem. The FB20 engine is far more reliable than what came before. Just make sure whoever owned it before you kept up with oil changes. Parts are reasonably priced, especially if you're not afraid to hit up a Subaru specialist instead of the dealer. And the resale value stays strong, so you won't lose much when you eventually upgrade. Number 4. Honda Fit. Here's where we talk about the car that's basically a TARDIS, bigger on the inside than physics should allow. The Honda Fit from 2009 to 2014 is a masterclass in packaging. Honda took a tiny footprint and somehow created a space that swallows furniture, bicycles and small motorcycles. The Magic Seat system isn't just marketing. It genuinely transforms this little hatchback into a mini moving van. But here's what really matters. It has all the Honda reliability in a cheaper, more practical package than the Civic. Same dependable engineering, same cheap maintenance, same I'll run forever attitude, just more useful. You can find clean examples for $4,000 to $7,000. They're not flashy, they're not fast, but they're incredibly smart purchases, especially if you're young and mobile. Moving apartments, no problem. Road trip with friends, everyone and their luggage fits. Weekend project? That flat folding seat hauls lumber like a small truck. The 1.5-liter engine is bulletproof, gets excellent gas mileage. The manual transmission is more fun and even more reliable than the automatic, if you can find one and know how to drive stick. Plus, parking is a dream. You'll slip into spots that SUVs can only dream about. In crowded cities, that alone is worth the price of admission. Number 3. Toyota Camry. We need to talk about the elephant in the room, the car that's dominated this segment for decades. The Toyota Camry from 2007 to 2011. Yes, it's boring. Yes, everyone's dad drives one. Yes, it's the automotive equivalent of plain oatmeal. But you know what? Plain oatmeal keeps you alive, doesn't cost much, and never surprises you in a bad way. These Camrys are legendary for a reason. There are examples out there with 400,000, 500,000, even 600,000 miles still running. That's enough to drive around the Earth 24 times. Think about that. The 2.5-liter four-cylinder is your target. Simple, proven, efficient. The V6 is nice if you want more power, but the four-cylinder is the real workhorse. Less can go wrong. Better on gas, easier to maintain. You're looking at $5,000 to $9,000 depending on condition and mileage. And here's the beautiful thing. 10 years from now, when you're ready to sell, someone will still want to buy it. Camrys hold their value because everyone knows they last forever. Insurance is cheap because they're safe and boring. Parts are everywhere because Toyota sold millions of them. And every mechanic from Maine to California knows these cars inside and out. It won't make your heart sing, but it also won't make your wallet cry. And in 2025, with everything costing too much, that matters more than ever. Number 2, Honda Accord. Now we're talking. If the Camry is your practical older brother, the Accord is your cool older cousin who's still responsible but knows how to have fun. The Honda Accord from 2008 to 2012 represents peak mid-size sedan, before everything got overcomplicated with touchscreens and driver aids, but modern enough to be comfortable and safe. These cars do everything well. They're spacious enough for family duty. They're efficient enough for long commutes. They're refined enough for business use. And the four-cylinder models will run for 300,000 miles without breaking a sweat. But here's what sets the Accord apart. It's actually enjoyable to drive. The steering has weight and feedback. The chassis feels composed and confident. You can tell that Honda's engineers cared about more than just reliability. They wanted you to enjoy the experience. The sweet spot is the 2008 to 2010 models with the 2.4-liter engine. You're looking at $6,000 to $10,000 for a good one. Slightly more if you find a low-mileage unicorn or the V6 model, which is genuinely quick. Maintenance is straightforward and cheap. These cars share parts with Civics, so everything is readily available. The automatic transmissions in this generation are solid. Honda fixed the issues that plagued earlier models. And here's a pro tip. Look for the X trim if you can. You get the sunroof, better stereo, and more features without paying much more on the used market. The value is incredible. Number 1. Lexus ES350. Wait, what? A Lexus on a budget list? Stay with me here, because this is where you separate the smart buyers from everyone else. The Lexus ES350 from 2007 to 2012 is essentially a Toyota Avalon wearing a tuxedo. Same platform, same reliable 3.5-liter V6 engine, same bulletproof Toyota engineering, but wrapped in leather, wood trim, and sound insulation that makes it feel twice as expensive. Here's the magic. Because it says Lexus, people assume parts and maintenance cost a fortune. They don't. It's a Toyota underneath. Oil changes, brake pads, filters, all Toyota prices. But you get to drive around in legitimate luxury. You're looking at $8,000 to $14,000 for a clean example. Yes, that's the top of our budget range. But think about what you're getting. A car that originally cost $40,000 new. A car with a glove-soft leather interior. A car so quiet you can have a conversation at highway speeds without raising your voice. And reliability? These things are unstoppable. The 3.5-liter V6 is one of the most dependable engines Toyota ever built. Owners regularly report 300,000 plus miles with nothing but routine maintenance. Insurance is reasonable because it's not a performance car. It's safe, stable, and boring in all the right ways. Gas mileage is decent for a V6. You'll see mid-20s on the highway. But the real value is in how it makes you feel. You're not driving an economy car anymore. You're in something genuinely nice. Something that makes clients think you're successful. Something that makes long drives pleasant instead of painful. It's the ultimate hack luxury car experience. Toyota reliability, budget car price. That's why it's number one. So there you have it. 10 cars that'll give you reliable transportation without draining your bank account. Each one has been proven by hundreds of thousands of owners. Each one has parts that won't bankrupt you. Each one will start when you need it and get you where you're going. But here's the most important advice I can give you. No matter which car you choose, get it inspected before you buy. Spend the $100 for a pre-purchase inspection at a trusted mechanic. It's the best money you'll ever spend, because even the most reliable car in the world can be ruined by a neglectful owner. Check the maintenance records. Look for consistent oil changes. Ask questions. Test drive it thoroughly. Listen for weird noises. Feel for vibrations. Trust your gut. And remember, the best used car isn't necessarily the newest or the prettiest, or the one with the most features. The best used car is the one that fits your budget, meets your needs, and won't surprise you with a $4,000 repair bill next month. These 10 cars won't let you down. Choose wisely, maintain it properly, and you'll be driving happily for years to come while everyone else is sweating over car payments they can barely afford. Now get out there and find your perfect budget ride. Your wallet will thank you.